Dear partners, I'm Annie. Thank you very much for joining Hytera's webinar. It is our great honor to meet you here. Well, in recent years, the market for push-to-talk-over-cellular is expanding rapidly. Well, you may notice there are many PoC radios available on the market, but you might not have an idea what the best option is for your business. In the webinar today, we will introduce what PoC terminals Hytera can provide and share some case studies. You will discover after today's presentation why Hytera PoC would be the right choice for your business. Now, please allow me to introduce you our speaker for today, Hytera Senior Marketing Product Manager, Mr. Nelson Huang. Nelson is a certified information system security professional. With over 15-year experience in telecommunication, he has a very comprehensive and deep understanding of customer requirements and market trends. Assisting him today is Wendy Yang, who will answer any questions you might have during Nelson's presentation. Please send your questions through the Q&A box. She will help you. And after the presentation, there will be a dedicated Q&A session with Nelson. Okay, now please join me in welcoming Nelson.
Okay, thanks for the introduction of Miss Annie. And my name is Nelson, and I come from the PoC marketing team of Hytera's overseas departments. Okay, so today our webinar's topic will be the Hytera Push-to-Talk-over-Cellular solution. And I have put my contact information here, so you can, if you have any questions afterwards, I think you can left me a message. Okay, and again, thank you all of you for joining us today, and we will begin our topics of the PoC solutions of Hytera. So, this is our agenda, and we will break things into 4 parts. So the first part, I think I will give you a quick overview or walk through by the concept of this PoC. So we will understand the history, the developments, and markets, and the target customers in this chapter. Okay. And for the second part, we will review the products family of the PoC terminals and also the PoC platform. And then we will see some of the application scenario. And so this is our main course for today's topic. And the third part will be the case study, and we will see what's Hytera's PoC presents global-wide. And the last part, maybe we will left some time for discussion of how to cooperate and what's the benefits Hytera can bring to you. So during this presentation or during this seminar, I think maybe we will have a little break between each chapter, and we will have some testing questions to make sure that you are following us. And Annie and Wendy will, at the back end, they will collect the questionnaires, and in the end, we maybe have some time to look back into the questions and to give you some response. Okay? So let's begin the first chapter or the first part of the PoC overview. So as we have told you that before we go to the real concept of this PoC, we would like to address the previously history developments of the PMR. So the PMR is the abbreviations like the private mobile radio or the professional mobile radio or what we call in the past is like land mobile radio, the same idea. So all of them is trying to give the industry customers or the business customers the capability of this push-to-talk, correct? So they have the developments, like in these slides, we can see that actually they have developments from the previously it's analog, and afterwards it's digital, and then they go to the LTE age. So this is exactly the PMR developments. So the most prominent feature in this PMR development, because they have the basic requirements of the PMR customers. They all need this push-to-talk. Okay, so this is mean that they need this walkie-talkie ways. So what's exactly means of the walkie-talkie ways? In next slides, you can see actually the walkie-talkie ways means first you need to set up the instant communications, and then you have the group communication enabled. So this is the basic two aspects of the push-to-talk. And of course, you need to have a button and to enable your services. And this PoC is the abbreviation of the Push-to-Talk-over-Cellular. So we understand this concept or this technology is actually built up based on the operator's network. So this means where the operator goes and you goes, right? So you will take all of the benefits of the operators, including the coverage, including the big capacity, and at the same time you will enjoy a lot of broadband services like the video, like the multimedia data, this kind of things. So when we are talking about the features of this PoC, we want to address again what's exactly our past customers it is with the PMR. So here is actually the PMR users or PMR customers. Normally, so here you can see actually we have this vertical market, which the PoC is to address this vertical market is the same like the previous PMR markets. All of them is actually, for example, you have the categorized markets, different sector like the public safety and municipal management, and all of these industries is actually the previously PMR customers, right? So actually the PoC is targeting at the same group of people to offer them more services. Especially we need to including this PTT in our services at the first or basic requirements. Okay, so this is mean that actually our customer is inherited from these markets, and we are targeting at the same kind of industry and business customer to continue our walkie-talkie ways in the 4G or in the future 5G area. And then we have some application scenario we can take a look at together. So for example, we might wondering how to manage our city management problem, because normally in city management one of the biggest issue is about the sanitation inspection, because there was a lot of illegal sewage discharging into the water, and this makes the water system very uncomfortable or unlivable for the people. And also you have lots of wasted garbage in the river or abandoned trash in the streets. All these kind of things could be one of the problem for the city management. And afterwards, I think we will spend some time to share with you some applications cases and how how we to make use of our PoC system to handle this kind of problem, right? So this is just to give you some idea of the possible application scenario, and this city management of the sanitation inspection is one of them. And then, of course, we understand currently we have this coronavirus pandemic globally, and everybody is talking about this virus, and we have accumulated more than 1 million, or even now is 1.2 million people is already confirmed infected of the COVID-19. So in this medical problem, that's how we do the epidemic control. That is also one of the useful scenario for us to apply our PoC technology into the city management of this epidemic control. And you can see actually, in this scenario, the two aspects we want to address. So the first thing is about the control, right? And the other thing is about the prevention, because we need to control the people, we need to do the consultation remotely of the doctors, because the doctors normally, they are the very cherished resource for us to protect us from the virus. So we need to protect them. How we cannot only, the mask and also the protection jackets is one aspect, but the other thing, the communication, is also a very important aspect of the protection. So we can use the wireless communication, right, based on the operator's network to achieve our instant communication of the PoC, of the PTT, to help them to set up the communication with the patient or with the nurse or the medical resource immediately. So this is one aspect. And the other thing is that we can use the remote video analysis or diagnose to help them, our doctor to prevent the disease for our medical peoples. And the third point is that because we can also use our PoC terminals as a supplementary method to help us to do the temperature detection. Because you can use the camera, and this camera can have the backend server to connect with our PoC terminals. And in this way, you can build your own integrated epidemic control solutions for your department or for the city or for some enterprise or business. So this is a very, let's say, very useful way for us to do the control and to keep us prevent us from the COVID-19. Okay, so this is another possible application scenario for our PoC solutions. So this is about two scenarios we have talked about, and then we will see what's exactly previously in the PMR industry was the challenge for them. So normally in the past, because we are supposed to provide this, let's say, licensed mobile radio, right? So normally you need to apply for the frequency bands. And sometimes it's not so sufficient of the frequency bands, and especially even if you have the bands, maybe you cannot support a lot of people to work on this frequency band. So this is also mean the limited capacities. At the same time, you need to set up the base stations or the radio conventional stations or this kind of thing. So this is mean lots of investment. It lies in the infrastructure, networking infrastructure. So this is means a lot of money need to be addressed of the, about the budget problem. And the last thing is about the data application is not enough because the bandwidth is always not very good in the narrowband products, especially for the private mobile radio. So this is all the problem that we encountered with the previously PMR era, right? So now we goes to the age of this LTE age, and we have these PoC solutions to help us to solve this kind of problem. So this is the benefits or our advantage that we can bring to our PoC customers or our customers. So the first thing, as we speak in the previous slide, that we can be free of the limitation of this frequency resource, and of course we get the advantage of the operator's network. This is mean that we have the very big capacities, and we can have the nationwide mobilities for the workforce, right? And at the same time, you don't need to put up your base stations because all of the infrastructure has already been set up, or it's already there in the streets. So actually, we can enjoy our PoC services with just one server and put the apps with the terminals, and that's it. So after all, you will get a very big capacities. At the same time, you don't need to put a lot of money in the infrastructures. So this is mean you only need to address your customers' service requirements. Okay, so this is the benefits that the PoC solutions can bring to us. And with the understanding of these benefits, and also the previously, the challenge before us, we want to take a look at what's the PoC's evolution or history in the past. So this is one slide that to talking about the history of the PoC development. Actually, this is not a very new concept because the standards, the version 1.0 has been brought out by this SOMA, which is the Open Mobile Alliance in 2004. And this actually is one protocol based on the SIP, okay? But at that time, because the SIP is like a heavy protocol on the internet, but it has many consumption of the header and also the translating of this SIP protocol. So actually, this has a very big development since the very beginning. But actually, we also notice here actually the in France we have the operator Orange. They have developed their own PoC platform, and afterwards the Nextel in USA they have also developed about 1.7 or nearly now I think it's already more than 3 million there of the PoC terminal users. And after that, in recent years, because the LTE network is blossom or developing very fast in global wide, so everything can be based. The PoC services can be based on this broadband network architecture, and it has developed. It has blossomed very fast in the recent times, including the China Telecom, China Unicom, and China Mobile. These three giants in China, they all developed their own PoC platform, and they formed their own PoC alliance, and the subscriber is achieving, I think it's more than 5 million or even more. I think at the end of 2020 it should be like the figure is like 10 million subscribers maybe. So this is mean that the PoC is actually a very acceptable idea or is a acceptable technology in the PM, let's say in the PoC markets, especially for our previously industry customers. They are very much to adopt this PoC technology as their daily works technology for their daily for their business or for their services. Okay. So this is about the evolution, and then in these slides, we want to take a look at what's the marketing size and also some of the marketing reports here. So you can see actually we have marketing reports from the persistent analysis company in US that actually is anticipating about 10% of the market share revenues increasements per year. So this is mean that is very promising markets of the PoC, and you can see actually in 2019 we have about 3.5 billion US dollars for the PoC market size. Okay, so actually you can see on the right side here we have basically three sectors or three segments of the markets, and here we we divide into the equipment, we divide into the software, and this software means the platform, and this equipment means lots of terminals, right? And especially we have the accessory is also included in this part of the equipment. And the last one is about the services, and this services is mean that the training, and sometimes we are offering it via the cloud, and sometimes we are offering via the physical server, and all of this will be managed by the account provisioning. So this kind of managed services is one third, explain one third of the markets here. So you can see that actually our PoC market is quite promising, and so this is a very rapid developed market. So in our later slides, we will explain about our solutions and terminals. So before we go into the second part, here we want to do a little testings with you, and to make sure that you are following us here. So I will start the testing questions, and these questions is not is very easy. So just to let you have to make sure that you have follow us here. So I will spend about 1 minute about these two questions. Okay, time is up. So, and I will stop the testing questions. And I saw lots of people has proposed your own questions, but maybe the questions because we're supposed to first finish our seminars today, and afterwards we will reply to your questions one by one. Not one by one. We will choose some of the typical questions to give you some response. Okay, so here we have the first question about 60% of you has give the answer, but only 1/3 of them is choosing the right answer. So the PoC standards, we want to speak a little bit more about the standards because this standards was proposed by the OMA organization, which is the Open Mobile Alliance. And afterwards, we have the first version coming out in 2004, but of the second version, it's actually released on 2011. And because afterwards, this PoC standard has been adopted or absorbed into the 3GPP standards. So actually, in the 3GPP standards, we have the R13 or R14, and it has adopted the PoC standards as to build this PoC service based on the 5G or 4G network to give them the PoC services. So this is mean that actually the PoC has already been accepted as one of the international standards since the year 2015. Okay. So actually, with Hytera, we have all these possible solutions, and afterwards, I think we can. If you want to know about the details further, you can let me a message, and we can address this problem. And the second thing, I saw lots of you has voted about the platform. Maybe you are more interested. So maybe during this seminar, we will give you some demonstrations of our PoC platform, which is the Hytera in the brand name of the products. Okay, so let's continue with our today's seminars. So we enter the second part, which is the main course for today. And first of all, we would like to address about the challenges and the requirements of these PoC markets, because we understand that these requirements actually is coming from the previously PMR customers, and we will see what's exactly scenario they are trying to use our PoC terminals, and we will see what's the challenge for them. Okay, afterwards we will have the explanation of our product portfolio, and then about our PoC platform, which is the Hytera platform. So let's first review, or let's make a study of the challenges and the requirements in the field. So let's imagine the environment or our daily working environment of our PMR customers, like like the industry users, and maybe for the logistic, maybe for the city sanitation or this kind of city management, and also they have a lot of heavy industries to use our PoC services. So the most important thing is for them is the PTT, right? The push-to-talk. They want to have a walkie-talkie way. So the most important thing is about the instant communication, as we spoke before. But here we just take a look at these four pictures to understand what's exactly challenges or requirements it could be. So here we have the first thing is about the group communication. So because you are working like the group in the group, so we need to address the group communication. And of course, another thing is the most prominent of the requirements is about the environment, because we will have the outdoor environment, including this kind of rainy days, and maybe we are working in a very dusty place. So you need to have the waterproof, you need to have the dustproof. At the same time, you are working in the outdoor scenario, because so this is mean that we need to address the sound problem, because normally the outdoor environment is not like the indoors. So we have a lot of noise out there. So we need to address the noise problem of the outdoors, right? And so this is like a normal scenario for our workforce is to use the PoC terminals. So you might come with some question like why I cannot use a smartphone? Because the smartphone, we can also install some apps there, and normally it can still work, right? You can still use the PoC services. But here we can see on these slides why we are not using a smartphone. Instead, we are using the PoC terminals. So here is how to use the smartphone, the steps. So the first step, you need to turn on the screen, right? And then you unlock the screen to find this app, and then to click the app and open this app, and then you will find that simulation button, and you can use this button to push and you can talk. So this is actually mean lots of time has been wasted. You are not offering the push to talk. You are offering the push and you wait and then you talk. So this is not the normal way of the PMR workforces. So normally they don't want to waste this kind of times and this kind of complicated operations. So this is the first disadvantage of the complex operation. And second, because the audio normally is very poor about smartphone, because we know that normally the smartphone, the output power of the speaker is normally less than 1 watts. And this is not enough in the outdoor scenario. Normally we cannot hear very clearly. Okay, so this is another problem that could be with the smartphone. And the third thing is about the battery problem, because normally we're supposed to we need to talking all the time, and sometimes we need to at least let's say 12 hours of working time, and for the smartphone they normally can only support if you are talking like always online, and you are talking, and they cannot survive more than 4 or even more than 4 or 6 hours. So this is not sufficient of the battery problem. And the last thing we want to address is about the, because the smartphone normally we have a big screen, and normally it's very easy for you to drop onto the ground, and it's broken on the screen, and afterwards you cannot use it anymore. So this will bring the workforce very upsets. They will feel very upset about the easily broken or drop, and then the things has been crashed. So this is not acceptable for the outdoor workforces. So this one, actually the smartphone is like a consumer device, so it's more designed for the indoor activities, and more suitable for the leisure or the entertainment purpose. Okay, but for our PoC terminals, it's a different story. So here is the first thing we want to address, because normally we are talking about the critical let's say, the critical communication, right? One of the prominent or one of the most important features is the instant communication. So you want to set up your communications immediately, not to wait any dialing time or find some apps on the smartphone. This is not acceptable. So this means that we need to find out. We need to have one of the buttons which is enable this push to talk. So this PTT button is necessary for us to enable the instant communication, especially in the group communication. We want our commands or instructions to transfer to our group members immediately. So you don't need to wait, and you don't need to dial some numbers. So means no waiting time, and you just push and then you can talk. So this is the features for the critical communication. And the second thing is that for the critical communication, one of the distinctive features it requires is the emergency notification. So you normally in the smartphone it doesn't have this kind of emergency button, but in our PoC terminals we need to have this design for them. So we put one of the emergency button on top normally, so they can use this button to set the immediate communication with the dispatching console there. So this is also mean that in a mission critical scenario, sometimes we might happen some very dangerous or very prominent events, and this time we want to set up the communication with the dispatchers right away. So we can use this button. You don't need to you don't even have to use the PTT button, and you can use this emergency button to set up the communication immediately with the backend and help them to understand the situation where you are and what's the. For example, we can also set up the video links or leave video links with them to help the dispatcher understand who is in danger, this kind of situations. So this will keep the person safe, especially for the mission critical application scenario. So this is normally this is normally the functionality which the PMR customers they will require. And another thing, I think is still we have three points to mention about the scenario problem. One thing is about the noisy environment of the outdoors, right? So every time you will find that in the outdoors you cannot hear it very clearly with the smartphone, but with us, with our PoC terminals, we're supposed to design or put it there with 2 watts audio speakers of the maximum output power of the 2 watts. So this is mean about 125 dB loudness. So normally in the outdoor environment, for example, with the disco or the construction area, we have about 100 dB loudness of there. So this is mean normally a smartphone, all of the voice will be drowned in the noisy environment. So just to give you some additional information, that the person, because when we talk to each other, so normally this loudness is about 40 dB. Okay, so if you are screaming, it's like 80 dB. Okay, so of course sometimes you might argue some person will achieve about 120 dB. That's not a human. Okay, so but for us, for our speaker, we have this 125 dB is more than enough in the outdoor environment, especially in the with the noisy environment scenario. And another thing we want to address, because we understand the hearing problem, and the other thing we want to stress here is about the speaking problem. Because, in a noisy environment, how can we pick the human voice, especially? So this is the time we have built in with our PoC terminals of the 2 mic to have the noise cancellation, right? Okay, so this is our way to address about the sound problem or the audio problem of the outdoor scenarios challenge. And then another topic or another aspect of the outdoor scenario will be our, let's say, our ruggedized and the durability of the device. So here we have one report to give us about the device failure reasons. So we have these reports on the left side. You can see actually the dropping of the device will explain about more than 70% of the reasons of device failure. So this is mean if you don't have anti-drop resistant capability, you will have a lot of problem if you are using in the outdoor scenario. Okay. So this is one reason that we need to pass the drop test, especially with these military standards, H10 standards. So we can also see there in these military standards we have passed lots of other testing, including the extreme temperature, and all of this will be exactly the requirements of the outdoor scenario. So we supposed to pass this test of the military standards. This is the first reason, because we can see actually the dropping device of the sometimes the broken screen will explain a lot of about more than 70% of the failure of the device. Okay. And the other thing we want to address is that because in the outdoor scenario, we are supposed to have the raining days, and we are supposed to using it in the wet environment, or sometimes it's a lot of mud with with the sand on the on the screen with the device. So your device should have the dust proof for sure. And the other thing is that for the water or liquid exposure is explained about another 40%, about 40% of the device failure. So we should also address this problem or this challenge for our PoC terminals, right? So this is mean that for the outdoor scenario, we need to have a very sturdy and very good durability terminals for our customer to use. And one last thing we want to address here is about the working habits. Because we all understand that for the outdoor workforces, normally they want to have this backup battery. So this is mean that your battery should be attachable, and you can easily install or uninstall the battery from your device. So all of the PoC terminals should have the features like attachable batteries. So this is the first point. And the other thing we have already explained about the batteries, duration time. We need to have more than sometimes normally it's more than 8 hours. So we need to address the duty cycle of this 590 duty cycle, which is mean the 5 for talking, or let's say emission, and 5 for receiving, and then the other 9 seconds will be for idling of the device. Okay, so this is like the normal workforce habits or their customs. And the other thing we want to address here is about the charger aspect. So you can see here, normally we can provide the single unit or the multi-unit desktop charger. So this is normally the what the workforce they want, because they do not want to use some very easy broken cable, because if you are using the cable for charge the device, it will be very easy to have the failure of the cable. So, but with this desktop charger, you just throw it over there, and it will charge automatically, and next day, and you can use it. So it's very convenient for the outdoor workforces. And of course, another topic or another aspect we want to address is the accessories. So you can see actually for our device, we can have all kinds of possibilities of the accessories, including, for this PTT ring PTT, right? You can have the earpiece or tactical headset, and sometimes maybe you need to have the, for the car kit. All these kind of accessories could be one of the possible options for us to help you to meet all kinds of scenario requirements. So the last point is about the outdoor operation. So this is also mean that in the you need to have the wet hand operation, and also you need to have the operation of the glove operation. All of this should be supported by the device. So this is exactly the let's say outdoor working habits challenge for us. So altogether, we can make some summary here, right? So the first thing is about the mission critical operation, and you need to have the PDD button, you need to have the emergency button to help you to build your mission critical applications. And the second thing is about the workforce, outdoor workforce habits. So you need to address this kind of operation, glove operation, and the detachable battery, Docker recharger things. So we have already explained. And the other two aspects will be exactly related to the outdoor environment, because we need to survive it in the very noisy environment. You need to address the sound problem, and at the same time you need to have the reliability and the durability of your device. It will not be so easy to broken. So this is the requirements or challenge in the scenario. Okay. So with this understanding, we will take a look at our PoC terminals. So, but before we go to the detail of these PoC terminals, I want to mention more about the aspect we are going to explain. So, because for the terminals, there are about 3 points or 3 aspects we need to address. But today, I think we can only see some of the very shallow concepts of the first point. So these 3 points will be the first thing is the outlook. Okay. So this outlook means a lot of things, including the the buttons position and the button design, and also the ergonomic design in the device. Okay, this is mean the outlook. Because all of you that know today's time is like a FaceTime. Everybody will look into your face and say, okay, I like this one because it looks very beautiful or looks very very comfortable for me. Okay, so this is about the outlook. And the second point we want to talk about is about it's about the structure, right? Because the structure will exactly decide what's the functionalities and what's the features and what's the advantage that you will have with your device. But unfortunately, because I'm not a structure expert, this topic I think we will not go too very deep in our today's today's topic. And the third point is about the material, because we all know that our device is making of this kind of ABS or the PC, the plastic material. But how this can be combined with our sturdy requirements, or let's say the reliability requirements, like the IP level or the military standards. So this all could be one of the factors which the customer will take consideration. Okay, so this means we will only look at the first point of the outlook. Okay, so this is about some preface of our PoC radios. So the first bar type terminal is the PNC370. So here you can see actually we have the lightest one with us of less than 190 gram, and you will have a torch on the top. So this means that you can use this as a torch in the light, help you to light the dark environment. Okay. And of course, it has come with lots of parameters on the right side. So I will not read it one by one, just to let you know that we have this half keypad, and with the PTT buttons enabled. And of course, we have on the top, because you maybe in the next slide you can see here. Sorry, this is in these slides, we will see. In these slides, we can see on the top we have an emergency button. So I think because for the layout, it doesn't have from of the drop view. So on this part of the terminal, we will have an emergency button. Okay. So this is about some of the highlights of the PNC370. And here again, we have put it here with the ergonomic design, because we have anti-slip texture, and also we have the curved edge. Later on with the 380, we can see the same. And another thing, it's about the battery, because we have already talked about in the previous slides that we need to have attachable battery. So you have a battery lock or latch here, and of course we need to have to pass the military standards and to survive of the IP55 in order to have the dust proof and the waterproof. Okay, so this is the specifications and the highlights of the PNC370. And this one, of course, is the layouts. So here, we want to walk through with you some of the special points here. We have, you can see on the left picture, the picture 1, we have a metal touch point here, right? Metal point here, in order to have the desktop charger, because normally you cannot find it anywhere with a smartphone, but with us we support the desktop charger, so you need to have this metal points in order to support the desktop charger. And the second thing is about the indication LED. So this indication LED, it will have three colors during our PoC services. The first thing is about the first color is red. When we are talking, when we push the button, and when it's emitting the message or the voice into the group, it will turn to red. So to let you know that actually you have obtained the talking rights and you can talk. And the second color will be green. Okay, so this in the green time, means somebody is talking and we are receiving the message, or we are receiving the voice from the other group members. And the third color will be the brown, or let's say yellow. Okay, so this the third color means that actually this call has been connected, but it has not been released yet. Okay, so this means the idle time of the session of the talk sessions. So this is a testify that Hytera has fully understand what's our PMR customers' requirements, and we build these features into our terminals. So this is like um, normally the habits of the outdoor workforce. They will be very much like about this kind of features to build into the terminals. And again, you have this is the back cover, and you can use your accessories like the audio jack, and you can use the micro USB for the data transmission between them, right? So this is about the outlook of the 370 PNC 370. And of course, again, we need to address some of the requirements of the outdoor workers. They need normally we need to use this kind of belt clip, so it will free the hand for them. And of course, you need to address the problem of the charge. You have multi-unit charger ready and for them to use. So all the things they need to do is just to put it back on the charger. You don't need to have some more minutes to spend, to connecting the cables, right? So for the charger, that's not convenient for the outdoor workforces. So all of these accessories has been enabled or can be an option for our customers. And one more supplementary information I can provide is that for the IHS report, for example, the PoC terminals, one of the issues is talking about the accessories, and the accessories will explain about let's say 1/7 of the PoC terminals market share. Okay, that's also a very big markets over there, and Hytera has experience to adopt a lot of accessories, including the headset and also other kind of brackets, belt clip, and the cables, and backup batteries. All of these things could be our requirements from the outdoor field customers. So this is about our abundant accessories with the 370. And then we go to the other device, which is also the bar type. But this time we can see the first slide is about the layout slides of our terminals. And again, you can see here we have the buttons, PDD button and emergency button. But the thing is different of the keypad, because at this time we have the full keypad, but previously we have only a half keypad. Okay. And of course, you have still here the charging points, and also here we have here embedded with the 5 megapixel real camera on the back. And again, you have this LED indicator here, and also the microphone's position is here. Okay, and the other speaker is here. So for this device, we are supposed to address you with another additional information of the PDD button, because it has the lifespan or lifetime of 400,000 push times. So this is mean that the device can be managed in 5 years, and you can use it to even for 5 years. You cannot easily broken of all of the components, right? So this is just one small aspect of the device, and of course you need to address of the dropping resistance, and also for the past the military standards, including other very severe situation, and also you need to pass the IP level is 67. So all of these features means that this device is ruggedized and durable device for the outdoor workforce to use. And again, about the audio, that you can see about some of the internal structures we have mentioned before about the structure things. And here you can see actually the channel for the acoustic is like the direct acoustic channel, because because the speaker is just under this under the bottom of this device, and the voice will be directly passed through the acoustic channel. So this means that the loudness is very good with the 2 watts maximum output audio speakers. So it has the tested value of this 125 dB loudness in the field. So it means that you can hear it very clearly in the noisiest environment. Even in the outdoor field, you cannot miss any message from the group, right? And the other thing is about the dual mic noise cancellation, because we have built-in side with 2 mic, and so the environment sound will be automatically cancelled, and you will not hear the environment noise, and all of the speaker or the talker, the voice will be passed through the group members very clearly. So this is the hearing and talking features about the PNC 380. So all of this has been actually a built-in features of all of our device. It always comes with the 2 watts power speaker, and it all comes with the dual mic in order to have the noise cancellation features. So this is mean that we have already considered of the audio problems we talked in the previous slides, right? And of course, again, about the battery, and you can see actually we have installed one battery piece is about 4,000 mAh, the lithium ion rechargeable battery. And again, we have the ergonomic design, and you have the same like the previous 370. So I think you can take a quick view, take a quick look by yourself. And of course, because our 380, one of the most important difference with the previous 370 is the camera, right? But we have 2 versions. One is the Pro version, which enable this camera, and the other version is actually we only have the full keypad, but without the camera, right? And of course, the configuration of the RAM and ROM is a little bit different. Of course, the Pro type will have big memory, like the RAM is doubled, and the ROM is also doubled in there. And you will support the NFC as well with the Pro type. And of course, again, about the accessories, and you can see actually we enabled all kinds of possibility of the accessories. And this is one table to give you a quick reference of the 370 and the 380 basic type, and also the difference between them. So you can use it as a quick reference table to help you to find out what's the difference there. So you can see actually we have another thing which is not explained previously. We have the dual band Wi-Fi enabled over there. So with this bar type terminal, we have three types, right? 370, 380 basic, 380 Pro, and each of them will have their own configuration of the ROM and the RAM, and also we have different features, including the, this is like a half keypad, this is a full keypad, and here we have support the camera things. And of course, this is the slightest one, so this kind of features. So I hope you can have remember by yourself. Okay, then we go to the star products. So this is our star products of the big screen one, which is the PNC 550. So with these products, actually you can see we have enabled about the 5-inch screen and also a big PTT button with on the side, on the left side. Okay, and of course it has a better performance with this better CPU and also the biggest configuration of the memories. And later on we will see some of the parameters. And here we want to address something more about the, it's about the NFC, right? Because the NFC will enable your electronic patrolling device, because this is like a RFID reader. So you can read the RFID, and you can build your own electronic patrolling solutions by yourself. And again, about the camera, we have rear camera and front camera enabled, and also here we also passed the reliability testing and the durability testing of the military standards and IP68. So I will not read it one by one, and I hope you can take a quick look by yourself. And here again, we want to talk about the outlook, or the let's say the layout design of our device. So you can see here all of the details, and you can see also here we have bring one of the device here. We can share with you the video. Okay, so here this is the device. Not to look at me, just to look at the device here. Sorry, upside down. So this is this is the right way. And here is Hytera's PNC 550, and you have the push-to-talk button here, right? And then here you have the emergency button, right? And again, in the bottom, here we have the metal plates or metal touch point to support the desktop charger. And after that, you can see actually in the back cover, you have the battery latch here, the lock, right? So this is this is unlock, and then I try to uninstall the back cover, and you can see that detachable battery, right? And then I uninstall the battery, and you can see here actually we have two SIM cards, right? Two SIM cards, and above one of the SIM cards we can support one SD cards, right? So this is the architecture. Just to give you a very shallow introduction, or a very brief introduction of the architecture of there. And one thing more we want to address is about the back cover. You can see actually it had the rubber ring. for the batteries anti-water or anti-waterproofing. Okay, so this is means that we consider all of the tiniest things or the IP levels design into our device. And of course, because I cannot open this with the main board, because you can also see actually we have a rubber ring in the in the main board, and to help the device to pass the ingression protection level of the IP 67. Okay, I can now to stop the video sharing, and then we go back to the slides. Just wait, give me some seconds. Okay, so we're back to the slides. Okay, so this is the layout picture of the device, and then I think we have already explained a little bit more. And then this is the parameters. So I will not explain about every details, and hope you can have a quick look by yourself about the parameters. Here we want to, there is some other interesting topic we can share with you today. So this is about the accessory. And here is that we want to address another topic. It's about the optimizations. And you can see actually when we deal with the gyroscope, and we have a lot of improvements of the algorithm, you can see the video stabilization is quite better than the previous version. So here on the left is running, I mean little running pace. So you are running, and this is the comparison. The left part is with the gyroscope and the algorithm improved, and the right part is the comparison. So this is the working scenario, and you can see also the left part with the sensor of the gyroscope and the algorithm is much more better and acceptable, especially when you are doing some video capturing with the device, right? And of course, there was another thing we want to address here is about the camera optimization. So here we have those three pictures that about the, in the low light environment. So sometimes this is very normal, right? Because for example, in the mine scenario or the underground scenario, you need to have some light or capture the pictures. You need to have these features. So this is three pictures before the optimization and after the optimization, and then we put some commutators comparison model as a, as a comparison here. So you can see our results is the best. We want to explain a little bit more about these slides because we all know that in the photography we have three concepts. One concept is about it's about the shutter, it's about the aperture, right? The aperture, and the other thing is about the second topic is about the shutter speed, and the third topic is about the sensitivity of the CCD, right? You can adjust this with the cameras. Normally, it's very easy, but with the cameras in the cell phone, this is not a very this is not a very easy task for them to complete. Complete. So for us, when we understand that normally in the low illumination environment, such as the dark night, if you take the pictures from your cell phone or your smartphone, right, you will notice that actually you need to increase the sensitivity value, let's say the ISO value. If you increase this value, you will get a very good brightness, but at the same time, it introduces a lot of noise points, which is mean that normally after taking the pictures, you will notice there are not of granularity on the picture, and there are lots of spots. Noisy spot is very obvious with the pictures. But for us, we do a lot of optimizations and to keep down the noise point. At the same time, we increase the brightness. Okay, so to make the pictures acceptable, especially in the low illumination environments. So this is the story behind of the PNC 550. So we from these two slides, we want to transfer the idea that actually Hytera is a responsible company, and it always focus on the improvements of the products, and we want to do the best experience for our customers. So this is mean that Hytera is continuously put the R&D and for the improving of the products and for optimization of the products to bring our customers the best products in order to have a perfect cooperation with us, with our customer. Okay, so this is about the PNC 550, and for the other terminals, the other terminal is about the dual mode terminal, and I will not to read all of the items again, and hope you can to take a look by yourself. All I want to mention is that actually this terminal is like two devices in one, or let's say, or even more devices in one, right? Because you have the DMR, right? The DMR device and also the PoC device. It's all included in just one device. So this means that you will carry less device. You don't need to have so many devices with you, but at the same time, you get the coverage of the LTE network and also the DMR network. And this DMR network is also, we can support the direct mode operation and also the remote mode operation things, the radio mode operation. And of course, here you have the layout slides and to explain about the details of the buttons and also the, some of the outlook of this device. And you can see actually we have a big antenna here. It's for the DMR, okay? And this knob, we can use it easily to change into the channel of the DMR frequency between different channels. So you use this knob to change the channels. So this is about the parameters. So hope you can read it by yourself. Okay, so I think we have already finished about the second section of the part 2, and then we goes to review the topic of the PoC platform. So for this platform, I think most of them are very much interested. So we will start from the understanding of the architecture. So here you can see, actually for us it's we have a lot of back-end services or servers in the at our back-end, right? And then we have some clients connect to it. We need to have the dispatcher client and also the dealer's client and also the customer client. And then the lowest layer is about all of the terminals is trying to connect to the servers by the internet using the capability of this operators network. So in the servers part, we have divided into two blocks. One block is means the red block is about the miming server, and all of this PoC server, the network management server is built based on this operating system. So actually, it can be combined into just one server, physical server over there. And then about other things, including the dispatching services, the PoC, okay, the Professional Unified Communication server, and also for the location server to provide a unified location provider services, and also the multimedia recording and play system is built based on the Windows operating system. So all of these three servers can be combined into just one physical server. Okay, so this is like at minimum 2 servers will be required for the PoC services to running smoothly. And of course, here is about the PTT trunking features, and also what's the exact features we can support with our PoC platform. So the first is about the PTT trunking communication, including the private call, group call, and also the emergency call, different ways like full duplex or the just half duplex things, right? And at the same time, you get the dispatcher services, including the voice dispatching and video dispatching, and you can do the remote, live streaming video with the terminals. At the same time, it's supposed to provide you all kinds of capability of the broadband, including the video services and also the multimedia services, right? And at last, we need to how we to provide this all kinds of services. We need to have the account management, which is exactly to open the account for the operator, for the different levels of agents or our dealers, and also we need to manage our group information and the user information very carefully. And all of this will be under the hierarchy architecture we will explain a little later in the slides. So this is the slides of different deployments, and we're supposed to have 2 kinds of mode of deployment. One is operation mode, and the other thing is about the direct customer mode. So with the direct customer mode, you will not have the distribution of the dealers. So all of this bar part is not necessary, and you only have one customer, and this one customer will have their own department and their group to manage. So this is much more simple with just one customer deployments, okay? And the other deployments is about the operation mode. Operation mode means that you are the operator, right? You want to develop your own distribution channels. So you need to set up the tier 1 dealer, tier 2 dealer, and then maybe the tier 3 dealer. We use this hierarchy architecture to help you to set up the operating mode. And this time, with this operating mode, this means that you can build your own distribution channel by this way. And all of the license will be controlled by the PO management we talked about before in the network management system. So this is again about the direct customer mode deployments, and about the ownership, and all of the resources just belongs to one organization. And this is about the operating mode, and this is applicable to the operators, and you will use this kind of mode to develop your own channel system or develop your own distributor system, okay? And this is about the network management functionalities. So we can see actually, we talk about the operator management, we talk about different levels of dealers management. We use this network management to do the account management, to open different accounts for the different levels of dealer and the different kind of customer. We need to manage the group. All of these things will be generated by a hierarchy kind of architecture, and all of the license issue can be addressed by the PO management here, right? And After this finished, we will give you a very brief demonstration of the network management. And this is again, okay, this is about our app. I mean, for the client, what the services will be look like. For example, the push-to-talk services user interface is like this, and the video services we are supposed to have the one-to-one or one-to-many video calls, and then about the multimedia message, and we have the contact list, and also we adapt this one to the small screen, and this is the small screen screenshot for the bar type, because we have the small screen with the bar type, right? And of course, we have lots of interesting dispatching functionalities into of this is the voice dispatching, and including the GPS, history, query about the tracks of the footprint of these terminals, and also the video dispatching, and also multimedia message. We can to talk with our talk from the dispatching console to the different terminals. And of course, we suppose we are adapted to the following terminals, including the handheld bar type one, and also the dual mode terminal, and also the big screen one. Okay. Okay, here we want to demonstrate a little bit about our PoC platform, the Hytera platform demonstration. So here we can type this into the browser, and we will get a SOAP, which is the service operating platform. This is for the network management. And previously we have talked to you about we have the operating mode, right? We have a root user, which is the admin, okay? And then we try to log into this system. I think all of you can see my screen, right? If you cannot, just let me know in the back end to let me a message. Okay, here we log into the system, and you can see that actually we have lots of let's say count here, because I'm the root, I'm the operator. I create lots of dealers. So this is like a dealer's account for them, and then we can log out to use the dealer to create the direct customer, and the customer, they will use this platform to create their own terminals account. Okay, so all of this account management will be managed by the service operation platform, the SOP, or what we call is the network management system. So this is about the network management system. And afterwards, it's about our dispatcher services. So with the right address here, because we have already created one smart, let's say the smart dispatching web client, we have one count, the dispatcher count, which is 127, and then we log into this system to see what exactly looks like the dispatching web client UI. Okay, so now I think you can see my screen, right? Actually, we have three kinds of mode to do it with the dispatching client. This is the web client, so this is the BS mode. And this BS mode, that means that you don't need to install any applications again, and you just use web browsers and you can get the services. And the first mode is about the let's say sorry, this is in Chinese, but I will later on change into English. This is the simplest panel. So in this panel you can directly initiate the course because it's a very simple view of this one. So all of the frequently used users will be listed here. And the other one is about the visualized dispatching. And you can see actually here we will do a lot of on duty, and we will subscribe to the locations. Sorry, maybe I need to. Yeah, some of you have already proposed that it's Chinese. I will log in again and to see. Here we need to change to English, okay? Sorry about the inconvenience because in Chinese previously and now we change to English. And you can see actually we have 3 modes. The second mode is the visual dispatching here, right? And you can see on the left side is about the quick reference for your group members, and you can use this one to find your correspondence very easily. And of course, you have another video dispatching panel here, and you can to start the video conversation with them by this panel. So it's like more or less like a monitoring center, right? So you can put all of the live videos here, and you can to have the screen cut by this panel. So normally we are under the when we are operating, we will use this visual dispatching to understand everybody's location and to start for the conversation from the map. So this is much more easier, and this is used for the for video or the audio communication with the users. So now I will stop about the demonstration of this Hytera platform. Let's go back to our slides. And now we have one last functionality we need to address here. So because we all know all of the terminals, it will have its own firmware, and sometimes it's very bothersome if you need to upgrading the firmware all by hand, because maybe you can do it very easy because you only have 5 to 10 pieces. But what if it goes to 100? What if it goes to 1,000 or even 10,000 pieces, right? So you cannot easily manage your client's firmware by the manually upgrading. So now is the time for the mobile device management solutions. So we have a server, and we can automatically update the firmware by just doing the push on the back end, and thousands of devices can be upgraded automatically by themselves. So you don't need to have the human resource to put into it. You don't need to have too many staff to work on these issues. So this saves your time and money. And the other thing we want to address here is about the three aspects. One aspect is about application blacklist and the whitelist. We can do those things with the blacklist, so it can block some of the applications because it's the workflow. You do not want some of the applications appears on your terminals, right? And also we have the whitelist, so you can control your applications easily. And of course, another one is about the peripheral device or capabilities management, because all of these devices will come with the Wi-Fi capability, USB capability, or camera capability. You can shut down by the remote, just to send them some remote commands. Okay, So this is about the device management solutions. And to make a summary, so altogether, the Hytera is supposed to give you an end-to-end solution, not only including platform, but as well as a series of all kinds of terminals, including the bar type or the big screen one, or even the car kit. We can support all of these terminals, including the PoC services platform, to offer you the instant communication with the unlimited possibilities. Because the PoC platform here we want to talk is actually is like an integration platform, right? You can integrate your own interested possibilities of the 4G data, like the IoT data. You need to integrate with the platform. It's okay. So we can do the customizations. And for other examples, you need to address the AI capabilities. So you can build your own applications based on the AI technology, and we can also do that with our PoC-enabled terminals, like the big screen one. It has more CPU and more power to running the AI-enabled applications. So this is like a glue for us to offer with you the one PoC terminal, one PoC platform with unlimited possibilities, right? And at last, we want to share with you some of the cases or some of the application, let's say some of the application scenario that we can make use of this PoC platform. So imagine that for the city management, we have previously we have talked about the sanitation problem. Now we need to do a sanitation inspection. So how we do it with our PoC system, right? So the first picture here we see here, actually we have a, let's say we have a platform, we have a command center, and this command center will send one staff for the sanitation inspection, and this guy will walk in the street, and then he finds some problem. Okay, some factory is putting the illegal sewage into the river. It's illegal discharging of the sewage into the river. So he will take out his PNC 550 and to use the real camera of this 13 megapixel camera to take the pictures, and then to pass the video and all of this information to the backend command center. So at the same time, this will generate one electronic tickets, and you will see actually here is like a timeline and what he has done, and what's the video or what's the image it has been uploaded. It will present it here in the electronic tickets. So this is a very specific and a very good practice in the field for the city sanitation inspection, right? So this is mean that we can use this one to help our customers to build their own customized applications to use the capability of the 4G network to build inside with the electronic process of there. Okay, so this is the half of the sanitation inspection, and then this guy will continue for the work, and then he goes to one street and find there was some abandoned trash. So because this trash is not belongs to any responsibility factory, so he need to find the resources like the truck driver to handle this. So he need to remove this, right? So he cannot do it by himself. So he called to the garbage truck driver, and he has the cleaner team, and he will send these pictures to the garbage truck driver, and all of these things can be generated like electronic process again, and the driver will receive not only the pictures but also the locations. And then this time the driver will use this one, the location information for the automatic pilot, and then to use the Google Map or what maybe in Chinese Baidu map to start the routing to the locations or destination. So he will finally use this one to close it, like and finally it will generate reports, okay, to the command center at the back end. So this is a very useful case for you to understanding how we to utilize the PoC services in our daily management of the city, sanitation problem, right? So for the third topic, because I think our time is limited, I will speed up with the latter parts. So in the case studies, I just want you to take a quick review of our global process. So altogether, we're supposed to have already delivered about 150,000 terminals within 30 countries and more than 35, or now it's like more than 40 customers in the global wide. Okay, so actually in China we have one very big case with the China Mobile. Here we can say actually we have sold about 50,000 pieces in China right now of the PoC terminal. And with China Mobile, we have signed one contract with them. It's like more than 100,000 pieces of the terminals contract with them, and this revenue of the contract or the total value is achieving about 288 million RMB. And another case is, so this is in the Southeast Asia. I'm sorry that the customer information has been deleted from the slides. So, but actually we have delivered altogether is about more than 12,000 pieces. 12,000 pieces of PNC 550 has been delivered in this country. And the most important feature we have built inside with our PoC solutions is the MDM, the mobile device management, because we need to do the massive management of the device, right? So this is provided to the Ministry of Interior in this country, and they use it not only for the daily work, but at the same time they're using the push-to-talk as a group, so they can communicate with immediately this PTT walkie-talkie features inside of the half duplex voice communication in the group. And this is another case in the Northeast Asia, and we cooperate with one of the largest mobile operators in this as country, and we support about more than we supplied about 5,000 pieces of PNC 370 in this case. Okay, so they are using their own PoC platform. So this means that we can adapt our terminals to the third party's platform. And you can see actually there is another case, and also in the same country we served with our customer PNC 550. So altogether it's also about 5,000 pieces has been supplied in this country with this operator. And this operator, they have I think one of the most important part about this operator is that they are the IDEN operator previously, because IDEN technology is not used anymore in the current time, and they cease to work of the technology and also network. So they shut down the IDEN technology. So they want to find a substitute for their previously PMR customer, right? So they used our PoC terminals and combines with their platform, their PoC platform, to serve their own customers, including the logistic and the taxi drivers and the golf services or golf club, or some of the hotel security management. So all of these things, all of these sectors, including the government, for example, the fire department. Later on, we will have one more slides to explain about this. So the government, logistic, and also the hotel and the golf club is their customers. So they need to provide the push-to-talk services with their customers. So they choose our terminals, and so this is also one of the proof that our terminals has been adopted as the first choice of the PoC services, right? So this is also very convincible for our other partners that they can use our PoC terminals, because our PoC terminals can be used as a substitute for the previously outdated PMR technology, such as the island. So this is the device that we deployed with with these island operators in South Asia. Northeast Asia. So you can see a lot of features that we claim that we can provide to them, and this is one scenario that they provided this operator, because they have a lot of subscribers or customers to serve, right? So altogether they have, let's say, about more than 100,000 subscriber or customer to serve. And one of the important customer is the disaster and safety culture in one city. And this scenario is trying to give them the solutions for the firefighting solutions of the PoC, how we utilizing the PoC terminals in this scenario. So they serve their customers with our PoC or PNC 550. So you will see here it's very similar to the previous one of the city management, right? So you have a command and control center, and you receive the fire alarm call from the citizens. And then this will trigger the alarm in the control center, and the dispatcher there will send out a squad or the firefighting man group to the scenario. Because the control center has more information of the building, of how many people is in danger, and how many people, what exactly the resources is distributed, right? For example, the pipe resource or the water resource, where you to find it. He will pass all of this information to the electronic tickets of this terminal, and then the group members will read the terminals, read these informations during the transmission to the site, and then they will understand how serious of the situation there, and what's the resource locations, and what's the distributions of the endangered people, and then they will put it into the fire rescuing of the work in the buildings, right? So they will do instant communication with the group members, and at the same time it can also have the setup the live streaming with the command and control center to help them to know or understand what's exactly the situation in the front. And sometimes maybe somebody is down and calling for the medical support or medical resource, so they can use this one as one additional man-down alarm functionality to trigger the alarm, and then he will realize something unwanted is happening, and they will send out the medical team immediately. So this is like a full story application scenario of the firefighting case in the fireman situation or fireman application scenario. Okay, so I think this is will come into very useful while you are doing the explanation with the customers how to utilizing with the PoC services to uh, offer the instant and the communication PTT services for your customer. Okay, so because we have more slides to talk about some cases, but unfortunately that our time is running out, and I will not explain about the details of the other cases. So afterwards, I think you can to get the slides by yourself, and you can see some of the details in these slides. And if you have questions, you are more than welcome to propose to us, and we will be glad to have to answer you. So one last thing we want to discuss is about highlights of Hytera. So here it's giving the highlights of Hytera, because previously we understand that actually we are not only to give you the terminals, and at the same time we're supposed to give you the Hytalk platform. And this platform can bear a lot of interesting services that you imagine. So you can build a lot of, let's say, the AI-enabled applications or the IoT data-rich applications into the platform, and you can generate your own electronical process for you to follow with the PoC services. At the same time, because we are supposed to have more than 26 years of the experience of the PMR, and we understand these customers' requirements and their habits very well. For example, we have built inside the indicator LED. We have 3 colors, and you remember these features, right? So this is mean that we can have the most suitable one for our customer to use in the outdoor environment, because we know the exactly requirements of this kind of customers. Okay, and of course we are supposed to provide you a very flexible cooperation model, right? So you can have the cloud deployment, you can have your own on-premise deployment, so with your own standalone servers, and at the same time, we are supposing not only to provide our own platform and terminals, and we are also willing to adopt the with partnership with the third parties platform. So in previously cases, we understand with one of the Northeast Asian country, and we can adopt our terminals to their platform. So this is all kinds of capabilities we can achieve with our partners. And so in this way, we are supposing to also combine our marketing strengths and also our distribution channel resources. So altogether, I think Hytera will be your right choice and reliable and dependable partners. So let's move on with the PoC services and move on with the Hytera's PoC terminals. And I think in this way, we can lead in the future of the PoC services and the PoC market together with you. Okay, thank you very much. And I think today we have spent about 2 hours in the seminars, and afterwards we think we will have the section of the Q&A.
Okay, thank you, Nelson. Thank you for a great and informative talk. Now we have 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes for Q&A with Nelson. If you have any question, please ask the question through Q&A box. Thank you.
Okay, guys. I think I see a lot of questions, but because time is limited, I will just pick some of the questions for answer. So the first question is about the roadmap, including the capability of the intercommunication with IPPBX. I think this is very good question because it's addressed the topic of the integration, like the VoIP system. So in our roadmap, I think we are going to review the roadmap, and I think this feature will be added into our roadmap later. But I cannot sure about when it will come out as the fully tested features or published products with the integration of the VoIP. I suppose it's most probably will have the roadmap come out in the second half of this year to have the capability of the interconnection with the IPPBX. So I think this could be integrated into our future features, but not now, because currently we are not supposed this right now. Uh, so another question. Uh, so there is another question is about the DMR. So currently we are only support the UHF of the dual mode PDC 550. But the VHF is coming on the way. I suppose it will come out on the second quarter of this year. I think at the end of May, most probably you will see it published of the VHF band supported capability of the DMR with the PDC 550. Okay. And some person is proposing that how many group users you can support within one group. So currently we are claiming that we support 500 users in just one group. That's our claim about the group capacity or group users maximally. And I saw lots of other very interesting questions, such as how you do the congestion, because sometimes even in the public operator network, you have the congestion problem. So as we told you before, because today's topic is about the PoC platform, but we have different kind of PoCs. So one thing is about the 3GPP standards. They are addressing this problem of the congestion problem because they use the QoS management in the network, right? So you need to handle the different QCI values. So currently we can support the QCI value. I think is until the release version 12. We can support this version, but for the future version, I think the QoS management will be much more better, especially with our MCS solutions. MCS, which the mission critical server, and this will be built exactly according to the 3GPP2 standards. So, but for our today's topic is like the commercial PoC. So this commercial PoC, we are not addressing the congestion problem. So this is a very good question, and I will be frankly speaking that we don't have a very good or effective way in current Hytera platform. Okay, so this is my answer for the congestion one.